These temples is a representation of Purush, which means awakened consciousness. Awakened consciousness, awakened light are one and all. One and all. So is there a division between masculine and feminine?
No.
How can you? Say which, there's no difference. Any other one have any shares about anything that's gone on for them? At all? Practical, metaphysical, normal? Over here, love?
I kind of feeling at the end of the 2-week I am dropping things everywhere.
You're dropping things everywhere, like physical things?
Physical things.
Oh, good for
Anybody
you.
have a spare hairbrush?
Yeah, I do. Actually.
It's like,
Hallelujah.
I don't know. One of the socks I knit in England?
Yes.
I can't find it.
Memory loss looks good on you, darling.
Can't sleep at night.
Hey?
Can't sleep good.
Can't sleep at night. Anyone having difficulty sleeping at all? Can you raise your hand? Just some people, maybe. Okay, who's having intense dreams? Okay, one of the things and you can work with me regarding that. Those of you who have high energy, like you're like this, some of it has to do with obviously the shifting of your time schedules from North America. We haven't settled into a new timetable. That's part of it. The other aspect of it is when your energy starts to awaken, your evolutionary energy, whenever you're doing a warrior sage event, in the ancient tantras and the ancient Vedic teachings, they talk about 11 main ways of stimulating and awakening and starting to get the kundalini to awaken from her slumber. The kundalini represents the evolutionary life force in your being, that which is evolving you. Shakti is the force that is sustaining you. Is what? Sustaining. So your regular metabolism, chi, in Chinese they call it chi, would be Shakti, or ki in Japanese. Okay, in Hawaiian teachings, does anyone know what the name of life force is? There's many different names. Mana, Hapona, there's different names for it.
The Shekhinah.
Shahina. This is your sustenance force. Your what? Your everyday activity, waking up, breathing, sleeping, eating, commercing, loving, whatever you're doing. Now, there are 11 particular main practices to start to awaken the evolutionary life force. The evolutionary life force in India is called Kundalini. It happens at different stages. The first stage of its intensity is at birth, or during the womb, when the period of growth or evolution is very quick. Moment of conception, right? You got the sperms all going, gotta get there, gotta get there, gotta get there, gotta get there, gotta go, 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 gotta get there, gotta get there, gotta get there. And then you've got the zygote going, oh, come and get me. Come and get me, right? Gotta get there, gotta get there, gotta get there, gotta get there. And one of them gets there first, and then boom. That's the beginning of a whole evolutionary life force explosion. And that's when these things merge, and then all of a sudden, the rate of growth is incredible. Who knows what I'm talking about? You've heard of that in science, right? The rate, boom, 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 boom. That slows down a little and speeds up a little, slows down a little, speeds up a little. It speeds up to create evolution. To do that, it needs to go into a state of subtle chaos from balance. Does that make sense? So chaos in the yogic teachings is not considered a problem. It's considered a time of the quickening of evolution. If you approach it as a quickening of evolution. If you approach it and you go, oh my goodness, my life is falling apart. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting into tensions with my wife. I'm getting into tensions with my business or my work. I don't know my health. These are not crises in a micro sense. They are opportunities for evolutionary quickening. You get that?
Yeah.
If that's the attitude, the lessons will come to you from it. Another main time, puberty. The growth spurt of the Kundalini life force is incredible. It just goes, right? And if you see a lot of teenagers, and we've all experienced, what happens at that time? Mental, emotional, societal chaos. We don't know where we belong, how we belong, what to belong to, what not to. are asserting ourselves, not what's real, what's not. Who are we? When you're going through these moments in life, it's a time of evolutionary quickening. Okay? That's when the Kundalini is now waking. If you're staying up late, now there's 11 ways of awakening this force evolutionary. In most teachings, you'll hit 1, 2, 3, 4. At Warrior Sage, what's interesting is one of my mentors, we were going through some ancient texts a few years ago, and they described these 11 quickening practices. And me and him looked at it, we were laughing because we do everything. All 11. It just happens to be that way. We do self-inquiry, contemplative inquiry, sacred dance, tribal music awakening, that's one of the other ways. Contemplative sharing, peripheral awareness practices. I mean, there's just, and each one has multiple practices. It just turns out that for some reason, you've been drawn to a tradition or a practice that's really about growing quickly. One of the effects is lack of sleep at times, and the other ones is strong dreaming. Some of you will start entering yogic dream dimensions. That's where you'll feel like you're getting taught in the dream dimension. Anyone ever have that? Or dreams more real than real? Lucid dreaming, transmission dreams. Receive those in. You don't have to remember. But one of the things I've asked you, I've given you the journal. Start taking your journal and putting it next to your bed at nighttime with a pen over these 2 weeks. When you wake up, if you have things that come up, write them down. You may not even know what it means. During the day, if those come up, you can meet with me and I'll help you work on how to extrapolate the lesson out of it. Okay? Any other shares or questions about anything that's gone on so far, or that you've learned or your experience so far?
There is no lack.
There's no lack.
There's no lack here. There's complete abundance, and it's only in our mind that if we want to look out and see anywhere, or see any person or being or thing as having lacking, that's only in our minds, because there is nothing but abundance here. There's so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enough?
For me, surrender.
Surrender.
Sweet surrender. I'm so programmed. I realize how much I've been programmed to, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. You gotta be this way. And just going, fuck it all. I'm just gonna be who I am.
Oh.
And just prior to this, I started getting multiple synchronicities happening per day, and I was just blown away on New Year's Eve. 6 in one day. Like, I'm going like, whoa. And it scared me. What it did was scare the crap out of me. And I went contractual. Like, I was like, something's going on, something's wrong. And I'm just really aware of, a real peacefulness in me.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Synchronicity is a sign that you're breathing everything in. Synchronicity is the result of the absorption of Purusha and Prakriti. It's a yogic science. You want to create synchronicity in life? You learn to breathe all experience in and circulate it through the body, which will go deeper and deeper as we go along. And when you do that, another way of calling it is being in touch with the Tao, flowing with the way things are.
Calling people to me, like literally.
Yes.
My buddy comes around the corner, I thought of him, he thought of me, and he instantly, like, boom, 10 seconds later, he's right there. It's just like, whoa.
How many are willing to keep a synchronicity journal for the next 2 weeks? Write down anything unique synchronicities. Okay, in your journal. So 2 things for your journal: wins, insights, and learnings, synchronicities, and any dreams that come up, okay? Any dreams that come up. Any other questions or shares about your practice? Not to what, love?
To work from excellence.
No excuses not to work from
Yeah,
excellence.
because it's created that so long ago. Yeah.
It's profound, eh?